Hello knife lovers, this is a video on ZTs because I've watched so many videos on knives on YouTube that I thought I'm gonna make a video on knives I love, okay, as I enjoy my cup of coffee. Really, the 550 has been my favorite. As you can see, I've got four, actually got more than that. This is just what I laid out today. I carry one of these, each of one of these every day for my job. Being a military, I think of these as tactical knives, and they come in handy along with my fixed blade for everyday use. And today I wanted to point something out on the 550 and the 551 I've had for a long time. Everybody will recognize that box if you're a ZT lover, and the other boxes. There's my 350, 0350, it's in there, but I don't use that one that much. It stays in the box. But today is the video on first gen versus, let me set that up, third gen. Okay. Now, when I got this 551 through the mail many years ago when it first came out, I don't know, what is it, 2010 or something like that. When I got this thing, it was really tough to open and close. I mean, this thing was like, it sucked. Alright? I mean, first gen, now I know why they changed the cutout. I know why they changed a few things on it. Because, you know, this thing is like, you gotta struggle with it unless you tweak it. Okay? Let me spread these out a little bit. So what I did is I thought, well, let's tear that 551 apart and take one of my newer 550s, body-wise, and see if I can do a little building of my own to build a new 551. Let's see that. It's a crummy cell phone, so unless it focuses out. Anyways, it's a 551 knife or blade, Elmax steel, on a new gen body. And the only thing I had to do is a little washer modification and the blade swap. And this thing is cherry. I mean, a lot of people don't like the scales. I like the brick style personally. I like black anyways. Okay, this knife works like a charm. And it's got the 551 blade on the new gen body. Or third gen body, I should say. It's new anyways. And it works like a charm on this body. And it was just a slight modification to make it happen. Okay? I mean, it locks up beautiful. I've had no issues. It's nice because it has the adjustment screw now. It's steel on steel. You can see that. Probably can't. You can see the block in there. I mean, this really came out nice. I wasn't expecting that because I've watched videos where guys say, oh, the blades are different, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're really not. And with a slight washer modification, you can swap them. Put the nice Elmax steel on the 3rd gen body, and you got yourself a Cherry Sweet 551. I mean, I'm not knocking the old gen, 1st gen knives because, you know, that's what I first got. You know, I've been living with these for a while, and you know, a lot of people don't like the scales on these either. I kind of think it looks like sort of a Japanese sign on there. I don't know if they've got the Japs in the factory down there or what, but that's what that kind of looks like to me. But some will call it ugly. They can't stand it. I've seen a guy sanded his, and another guy, they just can't stand it. Wah, wah, wah. You know, whatever. You know, live with your knife. If you really love these knives, and these are Cherry knives. They're heavy duty, well built, and they do the job. And I've got another one here. I think this, I call it Old Blue. I've had it for a little while. I got it like this. I bought it from a guy on the net. He had pimped it with the deep carry, and he, I don't know, he sunk it in the blue juice, got it all blue. But this knife's pretty cherry too for a 1st gen. It's a 0550. And when I first got this knife, I carried it for about a month, and I'll tell you what, I really like it. For being, I'm not a pimper on my knives, but the deep carry was kind of nice, and you know, I don't mind a little blue, I guess. It doesn't bother me much. I'm not much into pimping them, but it works. I think it's pretty cool. I'll just lay them out as I talk about them. So here we go. We're starting back a little bit. 551 Elmax steel on a new 3rd gen body. Works like a charm. This was its old body, in which I took the 550 blade off this 3rd gen and put it on the 1st, and it works like a charm. I mean, this knife is cherry too. Locks up, no issues, works great. So that's basically the main thing I started this video, is because of this, that you can change. These are interchangeable. And I had some extra washers. I put a little different washer setup on this. They're a little bigger. You can see them down in there with this crummy cell phone. They're there, see them? And I got great lockup. I didn't even have to adjust that screw for adjustment. I mean, this baby just locks up solid. And when I first got it done, I took it out, gave it my beat test just to make sure it wouldn't pop out. Worked like a charm beautifully. Okay, then I've got another. I bought like 4 of these 3rd gens. Okay, a guy was selling them on the net again, and he was giving a heck of a price. So I went ahead and picked up, I got 4 of them, I think. I got 4 new 3rd gens. That's not including my 1st gen styles. But I just thought I'd throw one out here and show you. Now, the thing I do like about the 3rd gen is the clip is sweet. They got a very nice clip on them. I do like this deep carry, but I don't think I would buy one. But it works. I'm not going to change anything about Old Blue, I call it. And this clip, for the 1st gen, it's okay. You know, it's not that impressive. I'd rather have one of these. Or if I had an option, I guess I would go with a deep carry. It just sticks out there. I don't like the way it sticks out there, but it works. I don't like to complain too much. So there is my 551 and my 550s. I forget the 0 at the beginning because I don't think that's relative, but there's 4 of what probably the 8 I have. I love this knife so much that I've gave a few to my son, to my daughter, to my friends, and they love them too. They always say, "Dad, where'd you get those? That knife is..." I beat the crap out of that thing, and it's hanging in there. You know, I'll throw a sharp on it for them, and they're happy, go lucky with it. And I'll give it back, and I tell them, I say, out of all the ones I like, even the 0560s, I mean, I've got quite a few of these too because I use them on a regular basis. My survival vest and my go bag, as they call it. I've got a knife in just about everything. And, you know, I've watched people on the net say, you know, the jipping rips my finger off, wah. You know, quit whining. You know, if you can't handle the knife, don't buy it. And then if you buy it and you have trouble with it, sell it. And sell it cheap, because I'll buy it. And then I'll resell it and make money. If you're not able to handle your knife, don't get it. Learn from the videos on YouTube. Learn on all those whiners out there that say, "Oh, it rips my finger off," and it'll rip your finger when you go to close it, because when you close it, it's going to slam right down on your finger. Well, that's not the case with my knives, because I tune them. Okay? Now, I'm not going to call everybody a moron, but come on. It's not that hard. Okay? Every single one of mine. Now, this one, I've had a long time. I sent it in, I wore it out. I wore the blade out of it. I mean, I wore that blade to the point where it was junk. And originally, let me set this down a minute, it looked like this when I sent it in. But the blade was worn down. I mean, I had used it to the point where I wore the titanium out. The blade was worn down. I mean, this baby got to work out. So, they got sent in to ZT, Kershaw, and they sent me back this. Black blade with an adjustment screw. So, they put new titanium body backside on it. As far as I can tell, this is the same handle. The reason why I know that, because I took it apart and I marked the inside of it. So I know this is original titanium that came with the knife. But the rest of it, they tuned it up for me. I mean, I didn't have the equipment to do that, so I thought, let's see how they are. And in a week's time, bam! It came back to me like this. A new adjustment screw, a black blade. Let me set it down a minute here. Grab it with the other hand. But it doesn't bother me. No serial number, which I really could care less on serial numbers. Collectors do. They want the first couple, either 1,000 or whatever. That isn't what this video is about. It's about loving your knife and knowing how to operate it properly, and maybe changing some things up on it. Okay? When it comes to like the 551 and the 550. That was one of my changes I did. Yeah, these come with the bearings, and they work great. I'll tell you what, I've had this in the sand, the mud, you name it, rain, snow, sleet. This knife in particular, because I used it so much. And like I said, the only thing original on it is the G10. The rest of it, ZT rebuilt for me. And they brought me back basically a new knife. I tell you, this thing works cherry. Now remember, for the dude that says you cut yourself when you shut these blades, you can't get your finger out of the way because it's going to slam on you. Look at this. Okay? It doesn't slam down on your finger. And the only reason that's probably happening because you don't know what you're doing. You've got to pay attention when you're closing your knife. There's the flipper that, watch carefully. Moron that hurts himself. Open, stop, flip it forward. See, it's hitting my thumb. Get your thumb out of the way. Use your other finger and carefully close it. And look, there's no blood. There's no guts. Alright? I mean, I laughed at that dude. And then there's another guy that said this was a kid's toy. Really? A kid's toy? Come on. I gotta call him a moron. I know that knife right there, at least that G10 of that knife, this knife has saved lives. I've cut people out of things. Straps, retaining straps, people that were hung up. I wish I could have had the original blade back. I would have put it in a frame because of what it did. See? Just like that. And you know what? The jimping, if you're a wimpo, okay, you take a die grinder, okay? Yeah, I've had them. They've been a little sharp. You take a die grinder and you just clean that up. Now, for you people that don't know what you're doing, be careful because you probably wreck it. But if you touch it up, it isn't as rough. And it doesn't take off the meat on my finger, okay? And plus, these fingers work for a living, so they can take it. So if you can't handle this beast of a knife that does a great job at everything, dirt, snow, rain, sleet, just like the damn postman, okay? This thing handles it all. I really like this knife. So for you that hate it and say, oh, that's why they're all on the web, because people are selling them, well, because they're just morons and they don't know how to handle their knife. And they're not a knife lover. Knife lovers will learn, just like your wife, learn how to get along with it and know how to touch it, how to use it, how to feel it. Okay, alright, I'll leave that alone now. Okay, and now let's see, we've got one more here, and here's my other 0560. And everybody likes that 0 at the beginning. I just like to call it the 560 Beast. Here's another one. Now, this one's a little different. I picked this up about a year and a half ago. It's a Blem. See the X's on that? There's a lot of Blems out there for sale, and they're cheaper than the $250 you're going to pay for that or that. And once again, there's no slamming of the blade on your finger on any of my knives. Okay, look at that. Works like a charm. Okay. Let's lay him out there. Beautiful. And let's see, I've got another little one right over here. It's called the 566. And spring-loaded. Kind of a cool little knife. I pulled that tension bar out of there. It's actually bar, not a spring. It's in the side here. They greased the crap out of it too. It's kind of ridiculous. But I made it a manual, and I didn't like it because, you know, I had it butterly smooth and it worked great. But I just wasn't happy with it as a regular flipper. So I put the torsion bar back in it, and I'd rather have it as an assisted flipper. I'm not, flippers aren't always my thing, but if I'm going to have one, why work so hard at it? Bingo. Comes out beautiful. It's got a decent clip on it, steel on steel. And once again, when you close it, just be careful. Watch what you're doing. Don't be texting on your phone and flipping your knife like I watch half the world do now. Stay in control. Pay attention to what you do. And there's my video on the knives I love. Signing off. Okay. I said I was signing off, but before I sign off, I'd just like to say, God bless everyone. And remember, United States of America is and always will be the best country in the world, because we put out products like this. Superior products. The ZT products. Now, I have a boatload of knives, and I will be doing other videos on my I have Benchmade, I have Spyderco, I have everything, but I'm not a collector. Okay, let's get that straight. I'm a lover of knives, and these are the knives that I love the best. I always start out with my best. These knives right here, the 0550s and 551 modified, I really love that knife since I did that. And don't get me wrong, first gen isn't no slouch either. And the 0560, remember, these aren't that bad. I mean, once in a while, everything comes lemon, okay? You just send it back until they get it right. If ZT is really good about that. I've never had a lemon from them. I've always gotten a decent quality knife from them every time I've picked one up. Okay? And the only one that some of you would call a lemon would be this blim I bought. But I got a hell of a deal on this knife. I think I paid less than $100 for it. Brand new. And let me just tell you, besides it looking a little more shiny than the rest of them, I could not find anything wrong with it. And let me tell you, I tear every single one of my knives down when I get them, brand new or not. I tear them all apart and inspect them to see exactly what I got. If somebody made a mistake inside, if there's any issues with the screws, because I'll tell you what, sometimes they say zero tolerance, but I'll tell you, I've had issues with these screws here and the standoffs, or pillars as you'd call them. I call them pillars. They look like pillars to me. But besides that, it was all stuff I could fix on my own. Being very mechanically inclined and having the ability to do that, I'm able to fix just about anything I have, or modify, as you can see. .0551 in a 3rd gen body. I'm yet to see that out there. If anybody can beat that, put it out there so I can see it, because I watch all these cheesy YouTube videos on knives. The scales, I like that brick style scale. I wish they'd put that on all of them, all their 550s. There's people out there that want to say, hey, I don't like that. I'm going to buy a $65 new scale or new cover for that because I don't like it. Well, quit whining. That's how they come. Reality sucks. And you got to take what you get. And you know what? I like it. And I don't care what anyone thinks. Because even the I mean, yeah, I guess looking at that you'd think, yeah, this, I think they picked that off in some Japanese writing. But still, it's got some grip there. They're all really cherry knives. And even the new 0566. I've got a few of these too I picked up. Not just this one. I think I got about 3 more in my box of toys. Knives, I call them. But this knife's really cool too. This would probably be the smallest knife I'd carry. It's a little small for my taste. That's another thing with people saying, oh, you know, these knives are so big. Well, you better reach down and grab your balls, because if you don't have any, you won't carry a knife like this. I mean, I'd carry this in my suit, my jeans, my flight suit. I don't care what it is. This baby's coming with me, because you know what? If I need to do the job and I don't have my fixed blade or my weapon, I'm going to need something to kick ass. You know what? This is going to kick ass. It's not too small, you know. I'm not going to bring a Perry knife with me to try to defend myself. I'm going to bring something heavy ass duty that's going to hold up to a beating. Okay? And I'll tell you what, I beat on all of them. Not so much the brand new one yet. I mean, I've gave it a little, I think you can see on the blade a little bit. I've been prying with it. There's a little pry. I pry with all my stuff. I test them. I test them all. If they don't hold up to my standards, I give them away as presents. But as you can tell, I got a lot of 550s and 51s. I'd like to get a couple more of these, but they discontinued them. I went to Blade HQ and sent them an email and told them if they get some more of these in to let me know, because I'll pick a couple more of these up. I really like the LMAX steel. I think that's a good steel. Some people will whine about that. The S35VN is good too. I don't have no complaints on the steel. They've all done a great job for me. And I guess for my first video, I don't care if you like it or not. You know, I'm not here to be anybody's friend. I'm just here to put out my information on what I think about these knives, okay? And I think they're awesome. And I have a lot of them. And the reason why I have a lot of them is because they work so well. Now, it's a pretty long video. I'm going to sign off now. Stop chattering away here. Some of you would get bored with it and stop watching it. Okay. God bless America. Adios.